Freedom, you shall give in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of His nation. Land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of His nation.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to this broadcast. Please just continue to share. Let me also share on my page. Let me share on my page. Do the same. And God bless you. God bless you. If you are just joining us, this is another edition of Commonsense live show. And I can assure you that we have a lot of things to talk about today. Urgent. So let me just share this. All right. My computer is not cooperating. All right. I think I got it. All right. So, here is an editorial reflecting the views of the government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. We, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the government of Ambazonia, will take cognizance of the fact that, contrary to the efforts on media to downplay their evacuation orders issued to 15 of our villages in Manyu and Akwaya counties, the genocidal squads of La République du Cameroon have invaded these villages as we speak, abducting, torturing, killing, and pursuing our peace-loving citizens into forests. We are informed that the genocidal squad is determined to neutralize our people's resolve to restore our independence by indiscriminate killings and maimings. Hundreds of our youths are already arrested over the weekend by this genocidal squad from La République du Cameroon. Internet, as we speak, has been shut down or limited. Movement of persons in these areas has been severely restricted. Land and river borders have been militarized to stop women and children from crossing over to Nigeria to take refuge. The genocidal regime does not want an increase in the number of refugees trooping across the borders to Nigeria because these refugees will tell the story to international organizations. And the influx will increase international attention, especially the attention of the host country, Nigeria, to the crisis. The Bia genocidal squad is killing and disposing corpses in very unorthodox ways. They throw them in rivers, valleys, in bushes, and in mass graves. They have seized all smartphones in these villages to ensure that no pictures or videos are taken by unsuspecting witnesses. We use this opportunity to call on the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the governor of Cross River State of Nigeria to help, matter of fact, to continue to help to secure our fleeing populations from Paul Biya's death squad. They are so vicious that they will not hesitate to carry out their raids across the Nigerian side in pursuit of our endangered citizens. On behalf of the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Mr. Seseko Julius Ayok Tabe, I call on the ambassadors and country reps to urgently organize massive protests in Europe, in Nigeria, in Geneva, in the Americas, and South Africa to draw international attention to this second round of the massacre of our innocent people. Thank you. So now, I want to talk to us in this manner now. This is our show. Our show effectively begins. I'm hurt, knowing and thinking about what is going on right now. They have cut the bridges, they have closed the borders. In fact, they are in for a slaughter. And this is not the time for us to be quiet. This is not the time for us to wait. You know what? This regime actually thinks that we are already tired by now. That is their calculation, that we should be at least tired by now. They believe that we have marched and marched, we are tired. Even the activists that we are now tired, and even the people are tired of ghost town. Everybody is tired, so they can do whatever they want to do right now. But this is a time for us. If they have not given up, we cannot give up, because giving up now is suicidal. It means we have surrendered. They cannot encircle our villages, and they are killing our people, and we are waiting to get the images to go and march. This is the time for us to march so that we can stop the carnage, so that what they think will never be known, they will be known, and they can be stopped. You know, here is a strategy of these people. From the time this problem started, they already called us terrorists. So what were they praying for? They were trying to corner us to the point where we shall respond militarily, so that they can first of all justify the brand name they gave us, so that they can now have a justification to say these people are really terrorists. And you know what? So that they will have a free hand, they will have the sympathies of the international community to kill us like some rats, like some dogs, because they are terrorists. So that is the game they have been playing. The do-nothing strategy of this BR regime had been waiting for a moment where they can be able to redefine the struggle. They were not stupid. They had been quiet, doing nothing, waiting that things and events will occur that will help them to redefine the struggle to their favor, so that the people will say, okay, really, they are defending themselves. You know, Chiroma came up early in the struggle and started saying those that were killed because of self-defense. That they were defending themselves from who? And it did not make sense, because they were not able to show that they were under any attack. So they were praying and planning and strategizing and formulating all evidences they can present to show that they were under attack. They started killing our boys and putting uniforms on them and giving them funny names and say they are soldiers that have been killed. So that's what they keep doing. Now they send our own soldiers, English-speaking, Southern Cameroonians, to the battlefront, which is strange. They were not sending them before. They were always in the north fighting Boko Haram, but this time around there is a strategy to send them to our zone and then tell their Beti Mafia to kill them. And when the Beti Mafia kills them, because one, they have a problem, they want to eliminate them because they are a potential threat to their agenda. So they believe that by sending them to our zone, they will ask their Beti Mafia to gun them down and put it on the separatists, so that when they do that, they will also have another evidence that we are killing them. We are terrorists. And now they can. That's why the bear was so happy in his press release, though he appeared to be frowning. He was actually telling the international community to see that truly this is now clear. You can now see that what we said from the beginning, that these are terrorists, now you can see that they are terrorists. So now, in other words, when we start dealing with them as terrorists, international community should take note that they are terrorists. So they keep on multiplying all their evidences, that they are cooked up evidences, to make sure that they can redefine the struggle as an arms conflict. So they can now use, that is where they think they are stronger. They are not strong in negotiation. They are not strong in legally. They are not strong in diplomacy. The only place they think they are strong is that they have got arms, which the French and the Americans have given them to fight terrorists. And so that's where they think they are strong. They are not strong on the negotiation table. They are not strong in any argument they may present. In the United Nations, they are not strong. So they think that they're strong because they have arms. So that is where they were waiting for us, to redefine this struggle. They have been trying to redefine it from the beginning, so that it can play in their favor. They can use what they have that we don't have to conquer us in this struggle. So that is why there are no commissions of investigation for anything. The moment soldiers die, I'm surprised that the next moment they start telling you about, they already tell you about what happened. How do they know what happened without an investigation? Because they were cooked up these evidences to prepare their talking points, to try to redefine the struggle and make it in their favor, so that when they're killing us, they should rather have the sympathy of the international community. We have not been armed at any time in this struggle. We have not fought this struggle, our struggle up to this point, by any use of arms. Whoever is doing whatever is saying on air for publicity is a publicity stunt. And they know that better. When we are bluffing, they know. When we are saying the truth, they know, because they have intelligence. The French is helping them. They have intelligence. And that's what they do. They have tried, and they are killing our own people. And people that are not very, very much in agreement with the Ewondo Beti agenda. Those are the people they send there and kill them and try to say, we are killing them. And some people who are not smart, very smart, they start claiming that they are the ones who killed them. Even if our people kill anybody in self-defense, what use do we have to announce it? How does that play to our favor? I would encourage anyone to act in self-defense. And even that means to take away the life of anybody. The law allows that. But to publicize it is of no use. When we publicize it, we are playing into the enemy's trap, and that's what has happened, and that's what is happening now. That's what is happening now. Then I want to call on the international community that we are, the Ambazonians. I know another winter is here in some of Europe and some parts in the Americas. Another winter is here. It is not an easy price to pay. But this is the time for us to go out into the United Nations Commission for Human Rights, wherever that office is in Europe. This is the time for us to go there, carry letters, the letters that were signed by the colonial genocidal SDO, take copies of those letters and litter them all over the place, and make sure that this can read and see for themselves the agenda of this government and what they are doing right now. We need to go everywhere. Those letters must be read, not on the social media. We should be delivered to the United Nations, who are always covering their eyes, saying they don't see anything, nothing has happened. They should see the letter for themselves and know that we handed it to them. They should see the letters in the White House, and members of Congress should be able to see copies of those letters and videos of what they said to the press. So this is the time for us to go out again. Another sacrifice, so that we can be heard, so that these people will not redefine the struggle and justify their genocidal mission to our country. Let me say a few things concerning money in this struggle. Money in this struggle. Please, please. Some noise. Excuse me. Now, In Ecclesiastes, let me quote the Bible because many of us have read it, if not as a book of instruction, but as a book of wisdom. In Ecclesiastes chapter 9, from verse 10 to 18, I won't read it, but let me tell you something. It is written in those few lines, this is the summary, that a poor man's wisdom is despised and his words are not heard. That when the poor man's wisdom is despised and his words are not heard. In the context of my expose, this is what I wanted to tell you. This is how I will read that part of the Bible. I will say, a revolution without resources shall be despised. No matter how justified, its voices shall not be heard. Listen, I say a revolution without resources shall be despised. No matter how justified, its resources, its voices shall not be heard. Do you know why a poor man, the Bible says here that a poor man, despite his wisdom, despite his voice, shall be despised, shall not be heard? You know, it's because he cannot deliver on his threats. He cannot deliver on his threats. If a poor man threatens a rich man, the man will be laughing. The rich man will be laughing. A poor man cannot threaten a rich man. His threat is considered a joke. Why the world fears rich people is not that they are dangerous, they are depraved, they are wicked. No. Why the world respects, fear, honor the rich is because they can use their money to fight till the end. They can go every step of the way to do whatever money can do to win the battle. That's why they fear them. But when you are poor and you are making threats, nobody takes you serious. They just dismiss you as like a nobody and forget about you. Our arguments are sound. Legally, constitutionally, socially, internationally. Our arguments are sound. Our wisdom is good. Our mastery is unmatched. We have already won. If these were just the parameters to decide a winner, we have already won. But do you know why we are where we still are right now? It's because the voice of the poor is despised. Because in our place, in our Sawa language, we say, "Unagodunje." What will you do? What will you do? If we don't, what will you do? And I remember one of the colonial leaders of the mafia even asked Honorable Weber that, what will you do? Vous allez faire quoi? The wisdom and the voice of the poor are despised. Their voices are never heard. If we remain poor in this revolution, our voices will not be heard. It takes more than a good argument in this matter. We need resources. We need resources. That is why I am talking to everybody today. No matter how outraged you are right now, how angry you are with the situation, if that does not translate to massive donations for this struggle, we shall not be heard. If that does not translate into massive donations, we shall not be heard. And listen, we cannot also count on nations right now, as we speak, to support us financially right now. We are the first provisions for our survival. We are the first provisions for our survival. You cannot survive on benevolence. Your survival shall not depend on benevolence. You are the first provision for your survival. We are the first provision for our survival. Because this struggle must cost us what we have and what we are. I know we have been giving, making our calculations, set apart some little money here and there to see how to support. When we stop supporting and we consider ourselves as the struggle, as part of the struggle, we would have moved one step further. We would have moved a giant step further. Supporting means you are supporting somebody. But we have to be the instruments that God will use to liberate our people. If somebody has paid with his life because he was trying to do one thing or the other to get us to Boya, what can we not do? What can we not do to get to Boya? What can be too much? Let me tell you something. If we have $100 million today, and the La Republic has evidence that we have $100 million, that is our money in this struggle, the French will call them. They will call them to the drawing table. I say the French will call them to the drawing table. All this noise we are making up and down and so on, parading some security guards around there. If La Republique knows from their intelligence that we have 100 million, that is our money, they will call us on the table. I say the French will call us to the table. Because do you know what 100 million can do? Do you know what a people, a movement, with people who are highly motivated and emotionally invested, what $100 million in their hands, $100 million in their hands can do? It can put that nation, the whole of Cameroon, on fire. It can put the French hegemony down within a matter of weeks in Cameroon. That's what 100 million can do. If they know that we have it, and it's not a bluff, because now we talk many things, we are this, we are taking our land, we are here, we are making sure that we will deal with their... They know that we are bluffing. That's what they think. They think we are bluffing. But if they have evidence that we can deliver on our threats, if they know that we can deliver on our threats, we will tell them stop and they will stop. I say we will tell them stop and they will stop. We will tell them don't go to Manfe, don't go to Eumojok, stop, they will stop. Because we don't need one soldier on the ground to put Sonara down. If we have money. We don't need one boot on the ground to raise Sonara from existence, to erase it. We don't need it. If they know that we have money and we show them a sign and we tell them stop, they stop. That is how the voice of the rich is not despised. The voice of the rich is not despised. But the poor, no matter how how noisy they get. Nobody takes their voice any serious. Nobody considers their threat any serious. So, I'm talking to every Ambazonian. Everyone. Whether you are from Mamfe Arakwaya or you are from any part, from Kambe, from Wum, from Oyumojo, from the back of the mountain, from Dian, wherever you are from. If we don't translate our frustration into financial donation to the interim government, we are delaying our arrival to Buea. Because even diplomacy is effective when they take you serious on the table. When they don't take you serious on the table, you are like a noisemaker. Because you cannot deliver on the threats. What can you do? What do you bring to the table to be so that they can listen to you? You beg? When you go on the table of negotiations and all you do is to beg, because they don't believe that you can deliver on your threats, they don't take you serious. I know that many people have been frustrated by the way funds were managed in our little beginning. But if you have confidence in people like some of us and the interim government that we have, and His Excellency Seseko Ayoktabe, and all the able men that have been put together, if you have this confidence in us, then you have to renew your commitment financially. You have to follow our lead. Because we did not come, this is an existential threat. Nobody came here to benefit through the struggle. We want to benefit from the result of the struggle, not from the struggle. We didn't come to this struggle to be made rich by the struggle, but to be made better by the result of our struggle. Because we shall make it to Buea. Buea is our trophy. Everything we do right now is a sacrifice. I call upon everyone to renew our commitment, and not just a commitment. Remember the days of the ANC. I was in secondary school by then. I remember we were collecting offerings in church, in the Catholic Church, to send to ANC. They brought pictures of Mandela, and other people were making small offerings. That is how far money played a role for the liberation of South Africa. We cannot downplay the issue of money, and we just have forums where we just share ideas all over the place. Some people spend hours on WhatsApp and others. They do a lot of things. Ask yourself at the end of the day, how much money have I contributed for this struggle? And how much am I willing to contribute? In my own design, I will make sure that if you want to contribute for yourself, for your wife, or you for your husband, for your children. Everyone must have a stake in the game. In fact, I know the interim government is working on this, on a plan that will be rolled out any moment from now. The Secretary of the Economy and Finance is working on this. So we are going to get the plan out very, very soon. But in my opinion, if we are making a levy or contribution, we should contribute for our children. If I'm giving $100, I should be able to give $100 for every one of my child and my wife together. We can do that. This is how invested we have to be in this struggle. For us to make a dent, for us to be taken serious, for us to say, hey, La République, be careful, and they know that we mean what we say. The interim government is going to put together the financial system, because within the next few days, we'll be told where the monies have to go. The best and the safest accounts that we have established for this purpose. But I want to challenge you before time, because we are soon going to go on, come out to roll out the plan. But I want to encourage you to know that no matter how many tears we weep, many of you have cried and wept. But if that has not costed you a real sacrifice, then nothing can change, because the international community does not take our tears seriously, more than they will do if they know that we have the means to deliver on our threats. Hello? If they know that we can deliver on our threats, they will take us seriously. They will take it seriously. Even the French, they will not say they don't know again. They don't know us. They will not start calling us Anglophones. They will call us by the name we want them to call us. Ambazonian. Ambazonian. Give for yourself, give for your child, give for even for the unborn. Let me ask you something. If you heard that your brother was shot by La Republique, how much will you send home for his burial? If you hear that your brother died of tear gas by La Republique, or was abducted and killed, his corpse was found somewhere, and it was being buried, how much will you send for his burial? Why do we enjoy, why do we think that burying the dead and sending food to prisons and sending clothing and food items to refugees is our best effort in the struggle? Those things are good, but we only remain victims. But the game changer is when you make a colossal sacrifice to the interim government. And I don't want to say more about what we are doing, because I should not. But a colossal sacrifice to the government, I tell you, will get us to where sooner. You will wake up one morning and you will be surprised the news you are hearing, if it is true. But you will need to be taken serious. If we have about 1 million people in the diaspora, I count my children too. I don't just count me, myself, and my wife. If we have about 1 million people in the diaspora, from here, from America to China to Australia, to Japan, to Britain, to France, to everywhere. If we have about 1 million of us, including all our children, those that were born abroad and those who travel with abroad, if we want to make a sacrifice for freedom, an Ambazonian sacrifice for freedom, if we want to make a sacrifice for freedom, and we say that it's $100 per head in my household, and we can give that within 5 months. If my figure is right, that we have at least 1 million Ambazonians, including children and grown-ups in the world today, if my estimation is correct, then within 5 months we have $100 million. We have $100 million. You and your 3 children, you just give $300. Let that be a redemption. Those people in church can understand a redemption offering. Put that money together. And I know there are people who will do more than that. We shall make that 100 million. Do you know what $100 million will do in a struggle like ours? They will take us serious. There may not even be a battle. Only the fear, the psychological effect. The French will make a decision. whether they want to lose the whole of Cameroon or to let us go. But how can we deliver? How can we make such a threat when they know that we cannot deliver? Well, how can we make such a threat when they know all around? They have eyes all over. They know we don't have. Well, if we have, we have. They know. If we don't have, they know. How can we deliver when they can see that? How can we threaten them when they can see that when they see clearly that we cannot deliver? Fellow Ambazonians, this is a turning point in the struggle. I'm tired of just marching and telling them that they are killing our people. They are killing our people. I'm tired of all these security guard parades that we carry around and make around and say we have soldiers. When the Republic see that, they laugh. If we want to be a credible threat, we have to make the sacrifice. And it shall be known every day, everywhere, that don't play with those people. Okay. I will end so far. But I want to encourage you. We shall deliver. The Secretary of Finance, Economy and Finance, is going to come up today in a few days' time. The interim government is working tooth and nail. All the options are on the table. For those people who say that our silence is absence or weakness, you don't even know how to prosecute this trouble. Be ready to give as you have never given before, because we have an opportunity this time. Because now we see this threat we see right now. The government of La Republique has decided to wipe us out. That is why they were sounding the notice to the international community now, that you can understand now that this is what we're telling you about, this are terrorists. So they have come in now in their thousands. This is not a joke. They have come to finish everything, what they left undone on October 1st. That's what they have come to do right now. And we cannot continue to react by just weeping and sharing pictures on WhatsApp. This is a time to make a sacrifice we have never done before. Because we know what to do, we have what to do, we have plans, we have men, we have professionals, we know what to do, how to prosecute this matter, and how to make a credible threat. But we cannot do that without money. Brothers and sisters, we need it now. God bless you. Bye-bye.